Endless Sports.
This guy has done our show a bunch. In fact, I don't think he's even cut his beard since the last time we've talked. It is Nick Rogers, the head football coach for your Cajon Cowboys. And, Coach, I think I asked you the same exact question last time, but when's the last time you trimmed your beard? I mean, maybe trim is okay, but actually cut your beard or shaved it off.
You know, this year I kind of cheated a little. I actually had a little longer than normal before the year started. So now I'm just in full-fledged hippie mode, as Coach Price let me know.
Well, you know what? That's more time to just focus on football and worry about the X's and O's and your opponent coming up. You got one more, Coach. You got one more week of the regular season, and then it's off to playoffs, obviously, for your team. But when you look at the whole body of work this season, what has stuck out to you about this Cowboys team? I say the defense. The defense has been awesome all season long. But when you look at the whole season, what has really stood out to you about this Cajon football team this year?
Yeah, I mean, the defense has been, outstanding this whole year. And it's been that way for the last few years. I mean, we played really good defense, one of the better defensive teams in the area for sure. Offensively, we've been a little slower to pick up. Partly, we spend our spring and summer going against our defense. So we're a little behind on trying to catch up with some of the stuff with the amount of man coverage and stuff that we would see in practice. So we're starting to kind of hit a little, in stride, kind of settled in on some positions, and things have gotten a lot better there. So, I guess the constant thing that we've been doing is just improving each week.
So you guys are 8-1 going into your final game against Rev on Thursday night. What are you hoping to see from your team in this final regular season CBL game before you get to the playoffs? Is it a chance to maybe work on some things, maybe see some guys play that you haven't seen a whole lot of? What are you hoping to see on Thursday night?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get the guys going. I mean, it's obviously a great time. It's senior night for us, so we get a chance to get some seniors some time in there. But we want to see us, especially offensively, executing. We had moments against Beaumont. We looked really good. And then we had a few moments in which they were kind of head scratchers. So I'd like to see more consistency on offense. Defensively, just continue to do what they're doing. I mean, I don't think I'd have to look at it, but I don't know if anyone's got over 100 yards on them in league yet. So just the stuff that they're doing is outstanding. And hopefully we continue that, that trend with them.
Coach, you've had some really big names on the defensive side of the football. I'm thinking of like the Jeremiah Martins, of course, Nick Figueroa. But this year, I feel like it's more balanced across the board. You've got some great players who will go Division I, but I feel like across the board, maybe as a unit, this is a really strong defense. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I mean, our secondary's been, we challenge people. We're up in their face in all the man coverage that we run. And obviously the Chapman twins, it's, about 6'2", 6'3", able to run the way they run, pose a huge problem for a lot of the receivers. Now, and then you start talking about our D-line and the pressure that they provide. PJ Lee, for us, is as good of a player as we've had here. I put him right there with, the Jeremiahs, the Nick Figueroas, and the Gusta, those type of kids. He's every bit as good as those kids, and we expect big things from him at the next level.
Yeah, that throws me a curveball because he wears number 88, and I expect him to, be catching passes like from the tight end spot or something. But he's like a DN, I guess, right?
Yeah, well, he'd want to do that too. I mean, he got that number as a sophomore. He ended up, starting, and then, he's looking to change his number. And I say, hey, they know you as 88. Let's keep it going. So he stuck with it and made it his own.
All right, Coach, you're already at least a share of that CBL title this year. You can win it outright on Thursday night against Rev, which will be 6 straight CBL titles. So the other night, sitting on the couch with my wife, and she's watching TV. I think it was the Great British Baking Show or something. And she's like, oh, you really got to see this part. It's really good. And I'm over there on my phone, and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going back year by year to make sure I know exactly how many league wins Cajon has. And I think it's 32. Unless my wife distracted me, I think it's 32, not counting Rev this week.
Yeah, well, it was somewhere around in that area. I honestly don't know where we're at in terms of those. But, it's a nice little streak to have. Hopefully we continue that, this week.
Coach, for your seniors especially, do you guys talk about legacy and about continuing this tradition that Cajon has built, and there's a very strong foundation of some really great teams and great players. Do you guys talk about that much, or maybe amongst the seniors they talk about that, about continuing this tradition, this legacy?
Yeah, we that's kind of been a theme for us this whole year. We came in with saying this season was a little personal. We felt some people were overlooking these guys for we graduated such a large senior group last year, really talented kids that have been around for the last 4 years, winning league titles in this group, but we felt was a little overlooked. So we accepted that as our motto this year. We've kind of lived up to that. We talk about it each week with the kids during our team dinners. Kids get up and they'll speak differently about it, but it's something that these kids are really proud of, something they want to continue, and nobody wants to be the team that loses the streak. So this group's got one more to secure that, and then we'll see what next year's group can do.
Coach, we've talked a little bit about defense. Let's talk a little about offense, because Jaquan Smith is obviously one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest guy in our area. I think of him as a wide receiver, but I've seen him running the football for you. Is he just one of those guys where you're just trying to find easy ways to put the ball in his hands and let him make plays?
Yeah, I learned that. That was a mistake I probably made, years back when I had guys, like a Darren Jones, was not moving him around nearly enough as I should have. And so that's kind of something I've been doing with Jaquan, is just moving him around, making sure he gets, 15, at least 15 times touching the football, because what he does is, it's pretty magical when he gets going. And if he gets in the open field, good luck catching him. He's that kind of, talent. So, we just want to keep moving him around, make the defense find him each time, and let him, get the football as much as we can.
So, Coach, as we're talking, we're looking at some video from your win last week against Beaumont. And there's Jaquan Smith, busting off one of his long touchdown runs in that game. Offensively, do you feel like this team has gotten better as the season progressed? Like you guys are, farther along than you were in week 0 or week 1 for you guys?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think our offensive line play has been getting a lot better. We were we've had different groups kind of mixing up. We're kind of solidified a group now. So, they're getting better. We've kind of settled in on one quarterback. I know we'll mix in a couple just in some different sets, but, in reality, it's just been getting a little bit more fluid, as the season's gone on, and kids are getting more confident. And again, when you got guys like Jaquan Smith and Mike Anderson getting them the ball, good things will happen.
All right, finally, Coach, I know it's hard to predict where you will end up in the playoffs, but I think at least in your case, it looks like Division II. We'll find out on Sunday when the brackets were unveiled by the CIF Southern Section. But do you feel the same way? Like there's probably no other scenario where you guys would end up in a different division than 2. Do you feel that same way?
Yeah, I mean, if we take care of business on Thursday, then we're going to be in Division II. I don't think there's any way around that. We were in it last year. We know it's highly competitive, tough division to play in with some of the better schools around. So we'll welcome the challenge. It's something that we've kind of we've talked about it with the kids early on, saying this is what we want to do. We don't we want to continue to build this program. So we're trying to work our way to get to it, be able to talent-wise and skill-wise and coaching-wise be able to play at the Division I level. So that's a goal here. So it looks like Division II this year. We'll see what happens and go from there.
Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. I really do. Best of luck this week against Rev in your final regular season game. And, of course, we'll all find out Sunday who you guys are playing in the first round of the playoffs. But, Coach, always appreciate, love our conversations, and best of luck the rest of the way. Hopefully you've got several more games still to go this season.
Yeah, I got to get a few more inches on this thing, so let's hopefully get this taken care of.
Let's hope. That is Nick Rogers, head football coach for the Cajon Cowboys here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, Coach. Really appreciate it.
Inland Sports.